Depression. It feels as though you're drowning but your lungs are on fire. It's as if someone has let off a smoke machine inside of your brain, clouding not only your judgment but also your vision. Everything looks wrong and it's hard to tell what's real and what's not. It's as if the true you has been put inside of a box, and that box has a padlock on it. And that padlocked box has been put inside of a safe, and that safe is somewhere in a dark cave in this world that you don't have the coordinates to. You have to go on a mental journey to try and find that cave, and when you do, you have to find some form of a light to be able to venture in. And when you find that safe, you have to try combination after combination just to get through to the next step. And then once you have that box, you then have even more challenges to overcome. But eventually you will be able to take hold of yourself again. However, the journey isn't over just yet. Now, you're alone in a cold dark cave and you don't have a map, but you've got to find your way home. Overcoming depression isn't as simple as taking a pill and everything being fine. It's a mental prison, a metaphorical hell, and in that place distorted thoughts start to make some form of a sense, and you understand them completely, but it's hard to vocalise them and make them sound normal to other people. Hell. It's hard to find the words to explain those thoughts at all. Because if you were to lay out everything inside of your brain, you'd have a dot to dot where the numbers are in the wrong place, a paint by numbers where the colours have been mixed, and a puzzle that fits, but all of the parts are from different packs. It's scary and it's confusing, and although people can be there to support you, it's something that you, and only you alone, can figure out. I once asked a good friend of mine why nobody liked me. She said, "They're not on your wavelength." She then went on to explain how specific minds and different views are like wavelengths, and sometimes you meet people who share these views and your wavelengths will touch for a brief moment in time. But then she said, crossing paths does not mean it fits. You see, for things to be comfortable, as much of that wavelength as possible should touch. You can't have people dipping in and out all of the time, as this disrupts your wavelength. If things don't match, they simply don't match. I don't remember the day the old me died. When did I start giving a shit about what other people thought? When did I stop being so carefree? When did I forget to love every moment of my day? I really couldn't tell you. Has anyone ever asked you, if you could go back in time, what would you change? Because every time someone asks me this question, my answer always remains the same. My answer? Nothing. You see, every moment that I have lived, every pain that I have felt, has made me into the person I am today and will make me into the person I am tomorrow. Every day is a new learning experience, and although there have been verses in my life of song that haven't flown too easily or been as smooth as they could have been, each of them has helped to create the melody that I get to sing every day. I may not be back to where I want to be, so far I am working on my padlocked box, but I know that with every day that is given to me, I will gain new tools to figure out what I have to do. I started by looking back at the happiest times of my life, and I figured out what it was in those moments that made me so happy. Then I compared that life to the life I am living now. That's when I realised I needed to make some changes. I started cutting people and things out of my life that weren't benefiting me. When it comes to trying to find yourself, it is more than okay to be selfish, and in these moments you have to be ruthless. When I was small, my mum used to say to me, quality over quantity, and this seems to be a thought that I have recently disregarded. This is something that I am now working on. I've always been happy with a small group of people. Large crowds make me uncomfortable. I find it best to have a really good connection with a handful of people than there being so many people that you can't even remember their names. True friendship is one of the many things that used to make me so happy. Work on your support network. Those that understand what you're going through, that aren't going to judge you or treat you as broken, or even try to convince you that you're crazy when you're getting better. The other major thing that used to make me so happy was how stupidly superstitious I can be about wishing upon the stars and blowing dandelions, I always count my sneezes, once a wish, twice a kiss. And I always watch for the time to hit 11:11. And in all of those moments, I always wish for the exact same thing. I wish for true happiness.